Hey guys, it's Astrological here with the next part of our how to make a stylized female body in Blender tutorial. We are going to be continuing the tutorial with the feet today. I was going to do the hands, but struggled a little bit because I did record it, but then I deleted it and went back to a previous save, so then I can redo it at a later date. But we're just going to be doing feet today. Feet aren't really going to be shown as much as hands are, so I don't really put too much detail into them, so you won't see me doing too much detail. I'll try and do some toes and stuff, but they won't be super detailed or super accurate, just because, yeah, I don't like feet as it is. Don't like seeing them in real life, don't like drawing them, don't like modeling them. I just normally do like little shapes for feet, rather than the actual feet with toes and everything. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will be doing some toes. Very simple feet, very simple toes. I'm going to make our references visible again. Our references don't have toes, but they do have the general shape of feet, and we'll take it from there. So what I like to do, I should probably put screencast keys on. What I like to do is I like to go into edit mode, select the bottom loop, duplicate it, and then separate it so then it's its own mesh and we don't have to mess up our beautifully made body. So in edit mode now, we are just going to extrude it down to the floor, and then from the bottom view you're going to extrude it and extrude again, just to make it rounded and keep that shape. Now we are going to do what we did with the knees and the elbow. We are just going to make sure that this is not an angon by creating a face, creating another face, and another, and another. So then we have a nice quad topology. Okay. So we have that done. This is our heel. So I'm just going to flatten it on the Z, so then it's a nice flat shape. I'm going to move it backwards a bit, resize it. Back in object view, I'm going to shade smooth so it's not giving me that weird shading. And basically, all we are doing is shaping the feet. Like I said, I don't normally make feet detailed, so this might be a lot of trial and error for myself. But I'll try and cut out any parts where I mess up and keep the parts where I do it nicely. I was going to say correctly, but personally for me, there is no correct way because I don't make feet. Okay, it looks weird, but that's okay. We are now going to select the front faces. We're going to extrude it. We're not going to move it just yet. We're going to just left click. Then we're going to do G and Y, so then we can move it on the Y axis. And as you can see, it's not matching up with our references very well. That is okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is left click here, so then our 3D cursor goes there. And then we're going to change the transform pivot point to our 3D cursor. So then we just keep the flat bit that we want flat as possible. Like so, and then we can just manipulate the top. Okay. We'll do some tweaking up here once we've connected the foot. But for now, we won't do any tweaking up by there too much. Do Control R and scroll your wheel until you get 3 and then resize them. I'm going to smooth out this bit. Okay. Now it's very square looking, which is fine. We're going to fix that by smoothing these edges. I'm going to select these edges and just shape them. I'm gonna put on proportional editing and just widen this bit. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to move it so that it's flat on the green line. It doesn't matter about having a gap here and it not matching up with our references. It's a-okay. I'm going to change back to bound and box center so that I'm not editing along the... well, editing with the 3D cursor. You know, normally this is where I would stop because my character would have shoes, which my character is going to have shoes. At some point we will be doing that as a tutorial as well. We'll be turning this basically into a whole character tutorial series. But we're going to go a bit more detailed. I'm going to add a loop cut there. I'm going to actually add... oh, I'm going to add 2 loop cuts there. Gonna smooth them, and then we are going to just edge slide some things over, and then I'm going to delete this vertex, and then we're going to do the same topology. This is just to get the shape. You don't have to do this. There are other ways so you can get the bone that's there. I don't know anatomy, which is probably bad that I'm making models and I don't know anatomy, but you guys should know what I'm on about. This like a little bone by here that comes out, which I think I'm actually doing that the wrong way. Oh, smooth it, and then I'm going to thicken it. Like I said in the previous tutorial, it is just constantly adjusting when you're modeling. Yeah, that little bit by there is a little bit of a bump on the other side, but it's more prominent inside the legs, so we are just going to delete this vertex and then extrude, resize, move, smooth, extrude, resize, smooth, and then create faces. We just need to make 2 faces, add a loop cut, and join these together. And then from the front view, I'm gonna smooth it out, resize it, and just get it looking relatively close to it being that little bone that you see. I'm gonna go into sculpt mode just to help with that. I'm gonna turn on the wireframe so I can see what parts I am affecting. Going to get the inflate, increasing, and then just inflate it. Like so. I'm going to turn off the wireframe for a second. It's not matching with our reference, but that is okay. As long as it gives you the hint that it is there, that is fine. Just going to do some more sculpting, going to get the smooth, and just tap. So then it's not too weird looking. Okay, there is this little bit here, which we are going to do. I'm going to turn the wireframe back on. I think it would relatively be like more down here. So we're just going to add a loop cut there. And then go to sculpt mode, which I'm actually going to go back to layout, and I'm going to go into sculpt mode here so we can keep this screencast keys on for you guys to see. I'm going to turn the wireframe back on. We're just going to go to the smooth tool and we are going to just smooth out this bit. Smooth, smooth, smooth. We're going to smooth out the back of this. We don't need it to be that much like that. Just smoothing out the foot. Now I know that there are some people following this tutorial completely ignore me doing the sculpting if you're using programs that do not have sculpt tools when following along. Just do what you can within your program of choice to achieve similar results. So we want it here. I'm going to select this and delete it. I'm going to smooth, extrude, smooth, extrude. And do the same thing. Let me create this topology. Selecting it all and smoothing. Now we don't want it to be too obvious compared to this. So I'm going to go back into sculpt mode. We're going to smooth it out a bit more. And then just ever so slightly tap to inflate. A bit more. I'm going to turn off wireframe. There we go. And then this top bit looks a bit too thick. So I'm just going to resize. Now it might not look great, but that's okay. We are learning together. Right then, we're going to select this front bit. And we're just going to rotate it on the Z ever so slightly this way. And scale it on the X and on the Y. And then move it a bit on the Y. This is kind of the general shape of how toes are. I'm going to add a loop cut there and just edge slide things. Okay, we are going to just take these two faces, duplicate them, and separate them so they have their own mesh. And we're going to make the toes separately, so then we don't mess up with our current topology. I'm just going to flatten it on the Y by 0. Going to hide the feet and the body. Obviously working with references for toes would be great, but I'm too lazy to find feet pics because I hate feet. I don't understand feet. I don't like feet, so I'm not going to subject myself to staring at feet for the purpose of the tutorial. Going to extrude on the Y. Going to add 2 loop cuts here. Going to smooth it out. We are just going to try our best to make it toe-like. Now, I'm not going to be rigging the toes, so doing actual topology isn't necessary, but generally you would want your topology to be kind of like this. This is similar to how we are going to do the fingers. Another loop cut there and just edge slide. Now I'm going to just adjust from the top view on the X. Now we're going to select these faces, we're going to extrude, and don't click anything, but move your mouse so then it insets on itself, then scale it, and then we extrude again and move it up, and then scale it and position it, and you have made a toenail. We're just gonna move it a bit. And smooth things out. This is why I hate making feet, because toes are weird, toes are gross. But that is our toe, so we're going to just remove these faces here. Now that is going to be our initial toe. I'm going to duplicate it and hide it and call it toe backup. We kind of want the sizes to make sense for the size of our feet. I'm just going to resize it. We're going to size it on the X to make it slightly thinner. Again, resize, thinner. There we go. They are roughly in position. We're going to do more editing, don't worry. So, move it on the Z. So then they're all relatively flat on the ground. Like so. Okay. Now then, this is the tricky part, because we added topology to these toes that won't match with our feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the toes up. So I'm just going to merge, 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 and repeat for all the toes so then they are all connected. like so. And we are going to just extrude it and flatten it on the Y by 0. And we're just going to rotate and move on the Y and just resize a bit. So, right here we have 24 vertices. I'm going to extrude again, just smooth these out. Just rotate it as a whole so that it is like flat. We are going to adjust, don't worry, the toes aren't going to stay spread out like this. I know that they look weird. So, we are going to duplicate the feet and make it as a backup. So backup, feet. We are also going to duplicate this and call it backup toes and hide them. Now then, we are going to delete that, and just make way for these toes. Now, there are 24 on the toes and there are 14 on the feet base. We're going to resize the toes. Just reposition them a bit. Now we are going to join them. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we're going to make this from 24 to 14 to match this, so then we can have nice topology. I say nice topology, it's probably going to turn out kind of ugly, but it's okay, it's just feet. We are going to select this edge, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then at the bottom of the feet, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Basically, you want the last edge from the center of each toe, and we are going to dissolve edges. Now we have purposely created n-gons, we are going to fix that. So what we are going to do is, I'm gonna go back into vertex selection, is we're going to take the knife tool, select this vertex here, select by here, and then on this edge, here, and then this vertex. We still have n-gons, so we're going to fix that by clicking this lone vertex and attaching it to this one here. And the same one with this, and here. And then we're going to repeat for this toe, connecting to this toe. Like so. So it's still 14 vertices. Now, obviously we have an odd toe because there are only 5 toes. So this is going to be a bit trickier. But what we are going to do is... Okay, so we are going to select this vertex, put one here, 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 and here. And then we're going to make this into quads. So right now, we are going to have an unavoidable try, which is here. This is a try, which you genuinely don't really want, but because they're feet, they're not really going to be animated. Like the toes aren't really going to be animated all that much. Tries here should be fine. Okay, I don't know why this is happening where I do that and it just disappears. So what I'm gonna do is just do this. like so, and that is how to do that workaround if that happens. And there we go, we got rid of the try. Now it's not exactly the prettiest looking quad, but it's a quad nonetheless. So now we can just attach the toes to the feet. We're gonna do this by bridging the edge loops. So what I did was hit space to bring up the search menu and just type in bridge and then bridge edge loops. We're going to just smooth that out. And we're going to just adjust things. I'm gonna go into the sculpt mode to smooth out areas that look ugly. I'm gonna turn on the wireframe. Okay, we are going to delete this edge loop. I'm going to select all the toes, scale on the Y, move on the Y, scale on the X bit. Okay, and now what we are going to do is we are going to change the face select. We are just going to select the toes, the wireframe, to select them all. We are going to then change our pivot point to individual origins, Alt S, and then scale them. So then we are scaling on the normals to close up those gaps. And back into sculpt mode to just smooth areas out a bit. Try not to smooth too much because you will end up basically undoing what you just did. Try and make the foot appear a bit more rounder at the bottom. Okay. Now we are just going to adjust things so then it's flat on the green line. Going to smooth out this bit of the big toe. Just keep switching between different tools and adjusting things so then it looks nice. Okay, we're going to select the toenails. And we're going to Control S. And just keep scaling them in different directions with just regular S. Then we're just gonna smooth the feet out. Just gonna ever so slightly smooth out the toes and trying to reposition going to just use the inflate to close up those gaps. Oop. Like so. Of course, these feet are definitely not the prettiest feet, but they are feet. I should want to resize the big toe and reposition it a bit. We have messed up the nails, so what I'm going to do is delete them, reseal, and then we're going to just remake the toenails. First one. Make it look less bulky. Okay, now move it down, scale it. And there we go. Back into scope mode. Okay, I think that is the best that I'm going to get with feet. I hate doing feet. I hate anything involved with feet. So, I don't care if these look gross, but we are done with the feet. Now we are going to unhide the main body. We're going to join them. And now we are going to bridge the edge loops by selecting these two edges. If I can, that's still face select. These two edges, space, and then bridge edge loops. Now we're just going to smooth. And we are going to just make things look a bit nicer and more like they belong together. Back into sculpt mode, just going to try and rotate these feet a bit in this view. We're just going to inflate this section a bit. Good job! Our female body now has feet that are decent looking, with toes! Next tutorial will be the hands, which are difficult to do, but I believe in us. I'll need to experiment before the tutorial to avoid trying to figure things out during recording so that editing is easier on me. This next tutorial may be a while to be uploaded due to university taking my time, so please have patience. I will get those hands done for you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope it helped. If it did, consider leaving a like. If not, I hope it was at least entertaining to watch. I'll do my best to help out, but there's only so much I can explain through text to help people. Consider subscribing for more content like tutorials, modeling videos, and more. Follow me on Twitch to watch me live. I model, draw, and play games, so why not come say hi when I go live? I have a coffee if you wish to support me. At the moment, memberships are disabled, but if anyone is interested in getting free rewards from monthly support, please let me know so I can re-enable them. As little as $1 a month, you can support me and gain benefits in return. Other than that, you can do one-time donations to thank me or consider purchasing some of my 3D parts on my coffee store. Commissions are on hold at the moment due to university, so I apologize if anyone is interested. But follow me on Twitter to get regular updates. I may update when I open up my commissions again. I appreciate you all taking the time to watch my videos. Thank you all so much. Bye guys!